this,
I got it. Just make sure he can.
and
Oh, wow.
then into this, and to this. All right. Can everybody see this?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, good. This is what we're going to talk about today. What makes a great comic page and manga, and what makes a great manga anime image. So let's talk about the image. There's two things I like to look at with the image because color. Since I'm more of a cartoonist, comic person. Don't use much color, but when doing an anime image, color is a really good situation where you want to use to help out boost the mood. Mood is the basic scenario, symbolic imagery, focus, placement and composition, character gesture. One area that I didn't say on character gesture is silhouettes, environments, expressions, over the top, subdivision, and iconic imagery. We're going to go back to old school stuff to talk about the idea of subdivision and iconic imagery. And strangely enough, that idea has not goes all the way back to the 30s and 20s when illustration was taught by a guy named Andrew Loomis. And I found out that many comics, even anime, takes this form, and we'll look at it real quickly. So I'm going to go to this page. And the idea is on focus and mood. Any composition or image, there's a focus point. Whether it be a head, in many of these cases like that, or another image. And those can be identified along with perspective in some cases. Like these lines going, that little kid's head is the center. Also, there's curved lines that deal with focus as well. So as long as you have a focus to any image, that really, and then stuff points to the focus, it's going to be an interesting and useful composition. A lot of comics and some manga deal with eye pathways, and that's going into a focus area and getting back out. So the idea of going into an area where there's focus and out, that's where the people's eyes are. You want to make sure that in your compositions you work with that. So this goes down to some more pages of understanding focus, and you see how the cliffs here kind of focus on this guy in the boat, and how the focus here is this dark area. I don't know any feedback, so I don't know how you guys are seeing this or not seeing this. Are you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Is everything okay?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll continue on until somebody tells me stop.
What if? Could you?
Also, there are detention devices that help in any composition, and those might be flames, stuff, fire, lightning strikes, a linear form like a pen, air swishing in, swoops, spider webs, radiated lines, which we see a lot in anime. Hello?
Okay.
Yeah. We good?
All right. Okay, I don't know if I'm clear or not because I can't hear back from you guys.
Oh yeah. You're clear.
Yeah, you're clear. We're good.
Is everything cool?
Yep.
Yes.
Do a thumbs up or something so I'll know. Okay. All right. Also, other attention devices are dealing with contrast. That means you have a square and some squiggly lines that lets you focus on a square. A circle with some jagged edges helps you focus on a circle. Bubbles in a square, focus on a square. Anything there's a contrast or difference from the norm of the environment of the picture, the focus will be. This is what you'll do for most compositions, is focus. This was set up as a way of doing little vignettes That's what they used to do for advertising back in the day, but that same thing goes along for any situation. All right, lightning strikes, this vertical image gives a focus, horizontal planes of clouds give a focus, radiating lines, swirling triangles, those are always focus points, overlapping squares, rectangles, lines, strange angles, spheres, triangles, and this is a subdivision surface where they divide it into triangles. There's also bad composition where there's ideas where you get too many areas where the person can get in and out of a picture, there will be no focus. And the idea of it, the better composition is bigger characters with a smaller background. So this is another scenario where everything looks about the same size and it gives no focus to where it needs to be. So it could be the environment or it could be the character. In this case, the character at least is at what we call thirds in the area where she's sitting, and it gives some attention to her, the rock, and her legs kind of draw up to her bodice and her face. So there's ways of doing composition bad, and there's ways of doing composition good. A 3/4 view is not a bad composition, and this is not a bad composition either, but we want to make sure that we identify what we're looking for as focus. And there's various types of vignettes. Now, let's go back to our notes. So all this information that you see here, we can find it on this page. Andrew Loomis has free instructional download. The whole books are PDF files now, so that you can download them. I would expect that you get at least 1 or 2 of them. This is the website, Illustration Age, and they have free books. All these books are free. Unfortunately, I bought like 3 of them on my own before I found out they were free. But that's okay because they're valuable sources for illustrators and people doing comics. All right, so we're going to go into looking at how the silhouette of an anime character looks pretty cool and gives an idea. So the idea of silhouette, let me change over to here, go to here. Let's see, let's do this, let's pull it down first. We'll stay on that page and I'll pull down the silhouette page. All right, cool. So I'll go to here, and I go to here, and I go to here. All right. Okay, so here's some iconic, really cool images, and make sure it's not too long. Good. These are some real cool characters that we see that I pulled out from a young lady's page on DeviantArt, where she basically did a group of these type of characters. Let me make sure. Can I do this? Hold on. Let's do this. Oh, still there? Mm-hmm. Do this. Pull down right. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can get this. Let me close this up. Okay. So what I did was basically I just, if your character that you draw, you can notice that it looks exactly like the character, then it's a good silhouette. Now this is a really cool image here because we can see that this leg here is slightly over to the side here. Make sure I'm not drawing on that. And this one is straight. Very cool stance, very good gesture. You can see it as a silhouette. Same thing with Naruto. You can see him jumping.
Oh, we can't
And
see
the
it.
silhouette,
We can't see it.
even though his arms look a little,
Hello?
are a little on, I don't know what they are right now,
Okay.
but his legs and
Hello?
his position is really cool.
No?
I wish I could hear you so I can get some feedback on what questions you're asking.
Just that.
Can you hear us at all? You hear us earlier. I don't know what happened.
Tell him he doesn't have
And
his
here's
picture.
some more images. Let's see if I can do that.
And the input volumes.
showing some really good silhouettes. This will be part of really of doing your characters,
Hello?
um,
Can you not hear?
and making them pop. If I can determine what each limb is doing to some extent by the silhouette, I can effectively
Hello?
sell that image to my audience a lot easier. Now, this image of one piece here in the middle actually is making use of foreshortening, and that's something that is really done a lot
We don't have a microphone.
in anime and manga more than anywhere else as far as comics are concerned. More or less, it's almost cartoony, but it really still sells the idea this is an action-oriented pose.
Hello?
And this Bleach character here,
It's saying.
I kind of outlined the difference of is black and white, and that kind of cuts up the image and allows it to flow as well. So the trick on the silhouette,
If you
if you
can't
have a
see
great
your face,
silhouette,
probably not looking.
then you have a great character for you.
Okay.
Hello?
Just do the phonics thing.
Now we can't hear him.
Oh, fuck.
We can't hear the screen share. We don't have the screen share.
Just go to the microphone. Whatever that, yeah, it's that, and then default is. No, that's through the headphones.
Can you hear us? He
Whoa,
can hear
that's
us.
weird.
Okay,
But now we can hear
we
you.
can't see your screen share.
We love technology.
Technology
There we
is
go.
so weird. I
Yo,
don't
can-
understand.
Can
this
you hear him on the
bullshit.
headphones? Dia, can you hear him on the headphones at all?
Oh, yeah, that really makes sense now.
Ah, look at that.
I can hear mine here.
That is so weird.
Ain't this some shit?
That's import.
It's still getting the input. But where the fuck is it going?
Is it?
The thing isn't working.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Okay, now I can.
We can hear you now. Can you
That's
hear us?
Okay.
Weird.
Can you hear us?
Oh, very well now.
Oh,
Very
fuck.
well now? Okay,
All
very
right.
good. Very
Oh,
good. Okay,
fuck.
well, we just fixed something.
What?
So, carry on.
Alright. Okay, so where do you want me to restart?
Where's
Just
my pen
Start from where you start from like right here where you're at.
Okay, so creating an ideal or memorable manga image with the characters if you devote on silhouettes. And so this kind of shows you how these really cool characters are set up so you can really tell what they're doing without all the lines, just with the silhouettes.
Oh.
And here's some more. And so this is just one thing that I will always recommend to any person doing some drawing for anime or manga or even comic book or cartooning. Look closely at silhouettes to make sure you can understand what the character is doing in the image. It just sells it better. All right, so let's look at some pages. All right, so I'm going to open, save. All right, here we go. All right, so I don't know if you guys see this, so let me make sure I got this on properly.
We saw it the first time.
All right, good. So this is a real old school page. It's basically Akira. Well, the reason I say it's old school is because this is almost, even though it's backwards, like it reads from actually right to left instead of left to right. this is almost verbatim how Western comics are done. Almost verbatim. They use a lot of very definable character design, so you understand this character is basically scrunched over, very gesture driven. You can see he's kind of covering his head. He's being shot at. He's looking up, and the helicopter driver gets ready to fire him up, and he fires him up. Okay, actually, he's going this way. He's going this way, then this way, this way, this way, and then this way. So let me move down a little bit. So the idea on that, let me zoom out and move over. Oops, zoom over, and then zoom back up. We see we have a focal point here based off radiated lines. It's that helicopter, and it's driving the image down this way. Okay, and you see he's kind of like this character is hunched over. What's selling this is this being the next panel to some extent, or this being the next panel, is the direction of the arrows. And then you see him being peppered up. He's looking back. It's probably a little clearer on this, that the center of this image is his eyes. Make sure I'm on this one. Center of this image is his eye. So that's pretty cool in the fact that they're really trying to draw you into identifying that this character is your focus. Also, the center of this, the helicopter guy is strangely enough this bar thing, and this is basically kind of an add-in to make you look like he's in a mechanical machine, which is pretty cool that they do it. That they just do it in simplistic ways. You don't have to draw a lot of images to sell this shot. It's just just well placed. And if I go down to the bottom one, and then we see is morphing into the character that he turns into at the end of the movie. Very cool image, almost exactly like Western storytelling. So let's go to another one. Just don't say that, and we're going to go to maybe page 1. Oh, that's not that one. This one. Okay. Do you see this?
No.
Okay, let me make sure this gets on. Okay. Screen share. All right. So this is also from Akira, and we see we'll see. I'm going to draw right on this page to some extent. We'll see if we were to separate this panel in threes. We see our action, even though it's centered up with the fingers, we get this idea that this is the clear spot. It's in a third. So the idea of subdivisions in like a 9-panel scenario really fits almost like this. So it really kind of doesn't really put stuff to the edge. It puts stuff not centered up, but like just off center, which makes it really interesting. Same thing with his head scenario. If I were to put this in the threes, his eyes look as there. His hand and the pills are going off the side. So they also they have it with the background, which is pretty cool. And this is also kind of an off-centered shot, which allows you, in a sense of open space, to read directed down. Even though this kind of goes like this, and this, it still reads well that everything kind of glows into itself. It goes like this, then his head goes down to this, and then his hand is coming down in this direction that leads to this. This is always a really cool image where you center stuff up in the middle. Here's the skin character right here, but then they have this other character who's also got powers in the foreground. And the background, you have the buildings, which also sell at the outside scene that has been tore up Tokyo. And we'll go here. And then this is a very iconic image where you're seeing like a chromosome, you know, like it's going this way, this way, this way, this way, like a snake, like a chromosome, and the circle. So, you know, circles and shapes, very iconic, and of course this is almost exactly like an American comic, but just, you know, in the opposite direction. Now I'm going to show you something that's popular today, but is not in that same way of doing comics. And we'll go to page 2, and we'll go here, and go here, share this, and we're going to see some One Piece. All right, now this is, it's as comedic, so that's fine to do it this way, but you see that it uses a lot of gutters, a lot of angled gutters that kind of direct the way the motion of the action goes. And also a lot of radiated lines, just like in the Akira pages, but they also use some interesting, you know, curves that go around here that kind of focus on this one character punching the mess out of this guy. One thing they've also used in One Piece, and they do on the anime as well, is that they'll have 2 different looks for each character. They'll have a funny, crazy look that looks almost distorted. They might have a chibi look that looks like the character's either innocent or aloof, and it'll go back to the regular character. So if you decided to do a manga and you want it to be kind of funny, having 2 or 3 different looks for your character is not unheard of. Actually, it makes sense. Manga is like a cartoonist or a comic book illustrator's playground. Rules can be broken, they can be modified, but the scenario will still be, if you can use focus and mood to sell your images, then your images will be successful. Okay, so I think that was the end of my talk. I'll go back to this. So let's review those again. Shucks. Let's do this. New window. Okay. Did I lose the stuff then? No, alright, I'll find it. Okay. All right. All right, do you see my notes again?
Yeah.
All right. So, just to review what we kind of just went through, even though it was we had some technical difficulties, and I can forward this also to the group as a PDF, is that we're going to be looking at, for the page, mood, contrast, focus, and movement. And the way we'll do that for a page is iconic imagery. So there's one thing I probably didn't show that's in the download portion of Loomis's book, and I'll open it now. File. Create illustration. All right. Make sure people can see that.
We can see it.
All right. So let me go through where I wanted to stop. It's on page 40. All right, so this is the areas of what you call like iconic images. If you even were to do the alphabet, you can actually have an image that would relate to that alphabet. I've seen a lot of compositions with a C where basically you're focusing either on a negative space or that is the center of your focus. And O basically is going to be like a loop. A V generally dealing with perspective. Triangles, squares, circles, a mixture of different shapes. These all can be addressed in your compositions. Okay, well, I think I'm kind of done. Any other questions? So we can maybe want to draw or something. All right, we'll have assignments
Just
if
tell
you'd
him
like.
okay.
All right, so the assignments are going to be, let's go back to one page and lose all these images. Let's see. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. So the assignment is going to be to create your own character in a one panel image using some focus. All right, I want you to show some mood if you can. If you want to use symbolic imagery to help sell it, then that's possible. Like showing kids or showing kid faces is always what people look for or focus at quickly. Eyes are also a focus as long as they're associated with something like a small child or a cute animal. That's always a good focus. And understanding gestures. We can go over some ideas of gestures if you want to, but I want you to create one image of a character with good composition. And if you are stretched, for those who are past just doing one image, I want them to create a page or show a page of what they've done, which shows some design of focus and mood and contrast. That means action lines and sound effects. Gutter design can be angled as long as it keeps the mood of the story. Is that a good assignment?
Sounds good. Give him a thumbs up, Norma.
He can hear you.
Oh,
I
can
can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I'm so
All
sorry.
right. I'm going to go back to my...
It's fine earlier.
let's see. And then cancel that. How do I get out of share? All right. Well, I won't worry about it. So, is there any questions that anyone wants to ask?
Mm,
Questions, anyone? No? Good?
nope. I think we're good.
Think we're good?
Yep.
Okay. I'll try to get some feedback on what you thought of it. I know we didn't do much drawing this one. It is more or less just a bunch of, going over a manual that's been made like, 50 or 60 years ago. But I have not seen any change in the rules to comics. I just know that you can bend the rules now, but the idea is to keep it as clear as possible, and that's one way of doing it. So, at first I thought a lot of manga didn't follow those rules, but I was incorrect. They're just as great students of illustration as we are in the States. So, it's it depends on if you're a fan of the art form or you want to be just an artist. And you guys can do it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. We appreciate
All right.
it.
Take care.
You too. Have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.
Right. So that was pretty much the presentation. So what we're going to be focusing on now for the rest of the time that we're here, we have an assignment where basically we have our manga theme, and the manga theme is Superstar.